This is one of my most hated phrases. You can't pour from an empty cup. Hated, but I am the 24/7 nurse for my child when she's in hospital. When she needs me, I jump to it. I have to fuel myself. I have to eat. You're a medical parent. Your child is going into hospital for a pre-planned admission this time, as opposed to an emergency, which, makes a nice change. And the hospital won't feed you. So what do? Do you rely on takeaway? Or do you live off the toast and jam that they have in the parent kitchen? Or do you plan ahead and make sure that you bring stuff for yourself so that you can eat well and not break the bank at the same time? Because that's what I do. My name's Tova. I'm a medical mama. My oldest daughter has cerebral palsy and very complex medical needs. She is a frequent flyer in hospital, and her hospital stays have ranged from 1 night to 3 weeks. And for the last 6.5 years, and for 650 vlogs, I have been documenting and sharing what's going on in our lives. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and follow us on the journey. And if this particular vlog interests you of how you manage life as a parent when your child is in hospital, there is an entire playlist called Hospital Vlogs where you can binge what we have been through in hospitals and how I've been managing and coping in the past. I have tried and tested every single option that is available to me for feeding myself when my child is in hospital. In our local hospital, where we go for all of Elin's emergency admissions, their attitude is she doesn't eat when she's in here, because when she's in there, she's chucking her guts up. So we'll let you eat her allocation. So they actually feed me in that hospital, which is amazing and wonderful. I still bring all the snacks and most definitely the coffee. But we're going to talk about coffee in detail in a moment. But every other hospital we have ever been to will not feed me. Even if Elin isn't eating, they will not feed me. So I have to feed myself. I have done meal prepping in ahead. So I've cooked for me to bring it on. I have bought ready meals to bring with me, and I have relied on takeaway and the toast available in the parent kitchen. I have literally done all of it. But at the end of the day, this is one of my most hated phrases. You can't pour from an empty cup. Hated, hated, hated for so many reasons. But I am the 24/7 nurse for my child when she's in hospital, right? I sleep in her room. When she stirs, I stir. When she needs me, I jump to it, okay? I have to fuel myself. I have to eat. There is no other option. Also, I'm a skinny mini, and I really need to work very, very hard on staying as big as I am at the moment. I struggle with keeping weight on. So eating regularly is so important for me because it helps me keep my stamina up. It helps me cope with the sleepless nights, general level blood sugar, so I can cope with the next thing that happens, the next crisis that hits. And also, I need to stay physically strong enough to help Elin with all of her physical needs. So food is actually hugely important to me. I probably spend far too many hours every day thinking about where my next meal is going to come from, but I do this. And so when I've had the luxury of meal prepping, I will do so. I made this fantastic, I think it was a Moroccan lamb stew that I brought with me. I'm going to link that vlog. Definitely, you're going to have a bunch of links in the description for this vlog. And I have these sectioned food containers that I really like using. I use them for bringing my lunch to work. I use them for picnics with the girls, and I use them for hospital food, right? They're great. I believe I bought them off Amazon or something like that. I've got no idea anymore. And obviously, IKEA Tupperware and bags. IKEA makes both square and round Tupperware pots in different sizes, but they're all the same lid size, so you can mix and match the lids all the time. I love these. I think they're fantastic. Also really good for meal prepping when you're going into hospital. And IKEA's Ziploc bags, also really, really fantastic. So these are the things that I bring food into hospital in if I've done the meal prepping. For this latest hospital admission, which is when Elin went into Addenbrooke's hospital to have a video telemetry EEG because we're trying to get more understanding about her seizures, I did not have the chance to meal prep. For the last 2 weeks before that hospital admission, I ended up having the girls full-time on my own with no break, because it was summer holidays, so they were off school and they weren't going to their dads. They were with me all the time. And between that and running ParentXP and all the other things that I do for myself, I simply did not have the time to sit down and think, now, what would I like to eat for these days that I am in hospital and I need food, and how am I going to cook it? It was enough to just create a blend to bring in for Elin, because while Adam Brooks finally support blended diet and will offer blended diet in hospital, they wouldn't be able to do it for the first day she was in. So I still had to bring in food for her. Now, blended diet in hospital, I think might be a whole separate vlog. So if you want that vlog, let me know and I will make it. But if I was going to look very honestly at what I felt was achievable for me for this hospital stay, meal prepping was not it. This time around, it was going to be ready meals. I then had to think about what kind of ready meals can I bring in? Can I bring in frozen ready meals? Is there a freezer in the parent kitchen? The answer was no, there isn't. There's just a fridge. Right, okay, cool. So chilled ready meals it is, and that's fine because I'm only staying for one night. I need lunch, dinner, lunch, and all the snacks. Definitely coffee, and possibly breakfast if I want something else than toast and jam. That was enough planning for me to decide what I was going to bring in. Also, luggage. Did you see my packing for hospital vlog this time around? I mean, that was hysterically funny. Half of that suitcase was food. But I do this all the time, right? I bring in so much food and so much snack. And then I bring in all the tech because I do a lot of the vlogging and working on my vlogs while in hospital. And then there's a tiny little corner of toiletries and clothes. I'm not sure I've got my priorities right in this, but it's how I do it and it works for me and it's fun. Anyway, where was that? Yes, what I was going to bring in. I also had to think about what can I conceivably prepare in that parent kitchen. Apparently they don't just have air fryers in parent kitchens in hospitals. I really think they should. When I'm rich and famous, I will definitely sponsor an air fryer for my local hospital. There's a microwave, there's boiling water. Okay, what can I do with that? Well, I can obviously do like a cup of soups and things like that just uses boiling water if I fancy it. But what I'm looking at is ready meals that I can just microwave, or meals that I can eat cold. I have very limited amount of time that I can be away from Elin. Elin is not easy to look after unless you know her. It is frightening to look after her. The first day when I went to make my lunch, and before the ward staff had understood just how difficult Elin is, they kind of went, here's a family support worker. He will sit with your child. And I'm like, great. And so I left this poor man with an Elin who was screaming her head off and just told him she has seizures, she vomits, she aspirates, she's angry, she can't see you. Bye. Probably not the kindest thing I've ever done. But really, you know, I go into the parent kitchen and it's like, this will heat up in 4 minutes. I've got 4 minutes. Boom, out. If it can heat up in 2 minutes, even better. And I will look at the meals that I pick and see how long will it take me to heat this up. Because the time I can stay away from her is so limited. The people I can leave her with are so limited. And then I will run back to Elin's room and I will sit there. And then when I go for my next meal, so when I go to make dinner, that's when I'll take my washing up there and I'll wash it up and I'll use it again. It's supposed to be my best video setup of all time. Is basically I've got my phone leaning on a loaf of bread. I am in the parent room of the ward and I'm about to put my food away in the fridge and also get my lunch sorted. You have to name and date everything you put in the parent fridge here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I bought some ready meals to take with me. I've got a tagliatelle, I've got a shepherd's pie, I've got a pot of gazpacho because that one I don't need to heat up. I've got a yogurt for tomorrow morning. I've got some kefir, but that's actually more for Elin to be perfectly honest. And then I have drinks. All of these I'm gonna leave in the fridge here. Now they have milk and they have some butter at the back there and they provide bread and there's a toaster, there's tea and instant coffee. I obviously will not drink instant coffee. And yes, as I expected, we have some marmalade here. So I can make toast with marmalade if I want to. See, I even brought cheesecake. Don't tell me I don't know how to live. And fizzy drinks. Apart from the ready meals, I brought umpteen bags of crisps, several different types of biscuits, multiple bags of sweets. I brought cans of Coke, cans of iced tea, other fizzy drinks. Like, I bring a lot of stuff because I'm sitting there, I can't do anything and I get bored and I eat. And then obviously coffee, because yes, there are tea and coffee making facilities, but it's instant coffee. And instant coffee is not going to cut it for me when I'm on a parent bed in a ward that is noisy and a room that's too hot and things that go beep in the night. I need my real coffee. So, I mean, this is the extent of coffee addict I am. I buy coffee beans. I grind them. My ground coffee beans go in this, and then I use it up, and then I grind a new batch. And then I have this little filter holder that I take with me to hospital. Yes, it is broken. Yes, it is dirty, but it does the job. And I have my little coffee filters. And you know, I said about the IKEA Ziploc bags. This is an IKEA Ziploc bag. So the coffee filters just live in that. And then rather than taking this with me, because it's a glass jar and it's heavy, I take another Ziploc bag and I just decant the coffee into that for the amount of time I'm going to be in hospital, how much I need, and possibly 3-4 extra in case I'm chatting to a parent in the kitchen and I offer them a coffee as well, right? And I have got it down to such a fine art by now that I don't run out while I'm in there. If I'm in there for a limited amount of time. The time I was in hospital with Elin for 3 weeks, I did run out, but that was 3 weeks. My partner showed up outside the hospital with a goodie bag of new snacks and drinks and things regularly for me. Did I run out of coffee that time? Yeah, I did. I ran out of ground coffee beans and I had to buy ready ground coffee to make it through. Generally, when it is a limited time that Elin is in hospital, I have now got it down to almost an elegant sufficiency of food and snacks that I bring with me. I don't mind bringing snacks with me home. I certainly mind running out while I'm there. And then hospitals don't want you to walk around on the ward with open mugs of hot liquid anymore, and that's perfectly understandable. So I always bring my Medical Mama travel mug. Now, I design these and I sell these. So if you're interested in getting a hold of one, then send... How are we going to do this? You're going to have to email me at ParentXP1@gmail.com. That's going to be the best way to do it. If you want to get hold of one of these, email me ParentXP1@gmail.com. Alternatively, send me a direct message on Instagram or TikTok, and I will let you know how you can get hold of one of these. They hold the heat really well. I've had this one for several years. Yes, it's getting a bit scuffed, but as I say, it comes with me. I mean, this comes with me daily. I have it all the time, and it doesn't leak, which is also really important. And so that is how I managed to feed myself in hospital, this admission. It was a short admission. It was one night. It was 3 full meals plus breakfast. And I probably brought more snacks than I needed because I did bring quite a lot with me back home. But I planned well. Under the circumstances, with what I was playing with this time around, I planned it well. Food wasn't the greatest, but it was good enough. So let me know who of you are in hospital right now or are facing a hospital admission with your child very soon. Did you want me to make a vlog about how I manage blended diet while in hospital? And also the challenges that come with that, being in hospitals that support blended diet versus being in hospitals that don't support blended diet, and what kind of fight you're going to have on your hands and how well you're going to have to stand your ground. I'm more than happy to do that. That will be an angry vlog. The angry blended diet vlogger. And of course, are there any other being a medical parent in hospital tips and tricks and ideas that you would like me to cover? I will happily do so if it falls within my realm of experience and expertise. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and do come and follow me on the other social media platforms as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. See you again soon. Bye.